expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
With Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995. Studio A.
Hi, welcome. And you're here today with Laura Sanders, and we are How to Make Money with Laura. So, I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor in the Broward County and Palm Beach County area, and I know how to make you money. How do I know how to make you money? I know how to save you money, whether it be an insurance claim, buying a house, selling a house, how to get top dollar for that house, how to get that house in the condition it needs to be in order to get that top dollar. But today we have a guest, which it's always nice so I don't have to talk with myself. So today our guest is Brian McGuire, and he is with American Van Lines. So welcome, Brian. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me, Laura. Appreciate having me on the show.
Okay. All right. So we've used Brian ourselves personally for moving, and we've used other movers. I like to move every 6 years. I get the itch. At least I don't change my husband that many times. Well, I sort of. Anyway, so Brian, tell me, when we're hiring, I'm a realtor, so when I'm going to recommend a mover, how would I recommend a mover? Like, what do we look for when we're hiring a mover? Because I hear you guys are kind of a little shady.
First and foremost, being recommended directly by like a realtor like Laura, or somebody word of mouth is probably the best way, because it's the truest example of how good a company can really be. If you think about it, anybody can post a review online, anybody can pay for the much marketing as they want. There's a lot of movers out there that do that, and we all have commercials too also. We're actually the last big company to really go out there and do that. We rely more on our reputation and our name, because that builds, even on Google, builds organic, real growth. You're not relying on your dollar bill and somebody who might be posting fake reviews from India.
Okay.
To build your status up.
Okay.
You build it on your own.
So when I see American Van Lines, right?
Yes.
And I go to Google,
Yes.
I'm not going to see paid ad next to it.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Okay.
Everybody has to pay for ads.
Okay.
But what we rely on mainly is our word of mouth. 30 years plus in business. On Consumer Affairs ranking, we're top 5 every year. Newsweek gave us the Best Customer Service Award 3 years in a row. On top of that, we're the only one, out of all the private companies, that is a $500 million revenue a year company.
Okay.
And it has one owner. It's
One owner.
family owned.
Okay, so you're located in just Florida? Are you located other
Pompano
areas?
Beach, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, and you travel all over the United States, correct?
All 48 states. Well, there's 52, but 48.
Okay.
We don't
Okay.
go to Alaska or Hawaii. You need international license for that.
Okay, all right. Sucks for the drivers. Okay, so I've seen and I've heard that people will hire a mover, and one of the things I tell my clients when they're hiring a mover is to look at your contract and make sure that it doesn't say that they can add on a certain percentage or they can charge you more. So how do you watch out for something like that?
The number one thing that most people need to understand when you're hiring a moving company is you need to have an in-home estimate. Not over the phone. We do over the phones also. An in-home estimate is the most pure estimate you can receive. It gives the opportunity for the company to come view all the items, put all the items on an inventory list that the customer then signs. Now, people go, well, you can make a mistake. Well, what I do is I offer the customer, let me come out the second time. And at that point, I'll take your deposit. Right now, in good faith, I'm going to register your move, put you on the board, come back out a week or two before the move, double check the inventory. At that point, I give us both the opportunity to make sure everything is listed. Because the false conception people have is the price is the price. The price is based upon the list of items, which drives either the weight or the hourly time, however we do the charges. Because there's 2 different ways to do charges, depending on where you're going. For example, let's say you're going out of state. It's really based upon how many items you have there. It's like the post office. You bring 50 boxes, you're paying for 50 boxes.
Right.
You can't bring 25 and expect to pay for 15. So that's the whole principle here. People have the misconception that it's based upon the final. No, that price is based upon the list of items and services, packing, crating, and other specialty services that we do offer that are listed on the contract. You break the contract, you break the price. But this is the key. Most people don't know this. Once a mover has loaded one item onto your truck, the contract is done. They cannot legally charge you a dime more, unless it's something that's unforeseen at the destination, like a long carry, or we need to switch trucks, or something that we could never foresee at that moment. But I can't charge you more money now, because once they put you on the truck, that's called holding for hostage.
But I've heard that happens all the time.
Well, because most people don't know the rules and regulations of moving. And that's what I'm here for.
So what happens? So let's just say though, let's say they don't hire your company, right? And they hire another company, and now their stuff is on top. You know, it's on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens then? Like, do they? I'm trying to figure out. Like, they get the stuff on there, and now they say, well, you owe us another $750 because this personally happened to me 2 moves ago, and I looked at them and I said, you understand I'm a realtor. And I'm a top realtor, and I sell a lot of homes in the area. And I called multiple clients that I had referred to and said, you should cancel your move because they're gonna take advantage of you. So what do you do when they do that? Because the cops are gonna go, this is a domestic, this is like a civil.
It goes back to what contract you had with them also.
Right.
Was it based upon hourly or was it a flat rate? If it's a flat rate, they need to honor that contract.
Right.
They can't load you on it and then switch things later. Now, what they could is deceived you, and even though you do a contract all day long, most people on moving day, they're just signing. They just sign. They're just ready to get out of there because
Okay.
they got 10,000 other things. They've got the clothes to get to. They've got 1,000 things to take care of.
Yeah, they
So
did
there's
an over
many
the phone.
there's
And a bunk bed, by the way, you think of, like, for me, I'm a lay person even as a realtor, right? Now I know better. A bunk bed, right? You think a bunk bed is 1, 2, right? You take, no, when you start to take that bunk bed apart, it's 5 pieces.
Yep.
And so now it's charged by the piece and not the size or what you think it is. So I thought I had a bunk bed, it was 2 beds, and they're
No,
like,
you
no.
got 10 or 15 pieces there sometimes.
By the way, my kids are going to make fun of me for doing this. They're going to like, and they put the crock pot.
It all goes back to the quality of the mover. What kind of company you are. I know my boss might kill me for this, but
Yeah.
every once a week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, we have prayer session out front of our office. He invites everybody who wants to come out and read the Bible with him.
What's wrong with telling people about
There's
this?
nothing wrong with that.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately, it's something that, it's a little secret in American Airlines. Nobody
Yeah.
really knows that.
Right.
But it shows the kind of ethics and quality of a company.
Right.
If the owner is a Christian or whatever religion they may be, but they give people the opportunity to come pray with them, are we the kind of company that's going to rip you off? I sincerely doubt that.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably the reason why I've been here for so long. There's no other better company to work for, because it gives the best opportunity for an employee to make as much money as possible, and also for the customer to get the best service as possible. Nobody's perfect, though. Listen, movie's moving.
So you would say buyer beware if
Yes.
they give you an estimate over the phone
Yes.
versus coming out in person.
Yes.
You want that personal interaction.
Yeah.
And then I guess, what's the difference between binding versus non-binding estimates?
One is a guarantee and one's not.
Okay.
For example, if you're hourly rated, you're moving down the street, you're non-binding, you pay for all the materials all the time from point A to point B, from beginning to end.
Why would
They clock
anybody
you.
want that?
Because sometimes they feel like they know better than the estimator. And they feel like they're going to beat the time. And I will sometimes recommend to people that if you're, like, for example...
Have you met Americans? We work pretty slow.
Well,
We're in Florida. We drive slow.
this
We
is
work
Florida. There's a lot of people
slow.
not from America.
Okay.
A lot more transient people from international. They want to save $1. So what they're going to do is they're going to take apart all their furniture. If you're going to take apart all your furniture, my formulas are kind of going to be thrown off. So I'm not going to be exactly so how long is this going to take. And sometimes it is more beneficial for them because they might want to take the boxes or they might not get to them. So if you're not sure about the list of items that's going to be there on move day, you're probably better off going with a non-binding estimate.
Have you ever?
But that's rare.
Okay, but have you ever said to somebody, you know what? I think I'm not the mover for you. You should probably hire somebody else. Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah. It's being in people's homes. You get to know people's, what do you call it, the way their personalities work. And sometimes it's 9 times out of 10, it comes down to the dollar bill. So I'm the type of person who goes, well, I guess you can't afford my services. I'll take away the brochure, bring it home, bring it back with me. And what do you mean I can't afford your service? She says it's too expensive for you. I said, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the psychology in you.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I find out when we're talking, we both have degrees in psychology. I'm a licensed psychotherapist.
And it's just because it becomes a game. At that point, I'll play your game, I'll entertain you. And they go, I don't have any money. And I'll look over and go, that painting's got to be worth 20 grand at least. You got some money. Oh, how dare you insult me? I said, how dare you insult me? Let's go back to the raw facts. You want a good deal? I'll give you a good deal. But you're not paying cheaper because you just want to. How about we work out a deal and let's put it to bed? And 9 times out of 10, that guy's recommending me the next day. Because some people just need to be put in their place a little bit because they expect to take advantage of you. Meanwhile, you're just there to sell them a good deal. And if you show them that and you're honest and they like you, once they like you, the rest is done.
All right. So
9 times out of 10, people like you, they hire you.
So in my business, you know what? So many crazy things happen to me. Like so many. I mean, somebody reminded me of one this morning, and I was like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot about that." But I got to imagine, like, you have some kind of crazy stories, like
more than I like to share.
What's the best one?
Personal experience. This is embarrassing, but I worked for my family members years ago in New York. And I used to drive the trucks. No, I still like to drive the trucks, but not allowed to anymore. Get too old. The old International semis, they have these brakes which are cords, but in New York you're taught to put the cinder blocks behind the wheels. Well, I forgot to put the cinder blocks behind the wheels, and the truck that was fully loaded ran into somebody's home. Christmas Eve, and it wasn't the guy who was moving. So that was probably. And you know what?
What did that cost you?
$125,000.
Cost you? Like, did they
My
insurance?
family member, and I had to pay half of it back. I worked half of it back for it. I learned a big lesson. Don't forget to put the.
Don't let Brian drive.
No, I wasn't driving. The cord snapped.
Oh, sure. Blame it on the cord. I think it's the lack of the cinder blocks, but I would just say.
Both, maybe both. But I've had horrible experiences before, which I wouldn't really share because.
No, I don't want horrible ones. I want something funny, like something that like.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's not that funny. That's expensive.
Well, there's one funny I was telling her before, but it's not funny to the guy that it happened to. Moving used to be so bad that it was so unregulated that we had these guys. They were coming from certain parts of the world. We can call what it is Israeli and Russians movers. They damaged our moving industry for many, many years. They would come over here and create LLCs and then go back to Israel and create another one. The DOT most wanted list for the moving household division, every single one of them was not from America. So we have a big problem. And my grandpa is from Israel.
Right.
So it's nothing to do with Israelis. And he first told me, he said, don't tell anybody you're Israeli because you're in the moving industry. Because they're not going to like you. And I didn't know what he meant by that. But I had a friend of a friend, had a company deliver in Arizona, and no paperwork signed, pure cash deal. The guy that got delivered was dumb enough to tell him that he didn't have a security system and that he was leaving the next day to go away. The guys came back and took all his furniture out of his house and then charged him again to redeliver it, and he paid. Because he had no evidence that they were ever there. It was a new community, nobody was around.
Yeah.
I've heard of stuff getting offloaded on 95 on the side of the road because people don't want to pay their bill. I mean, this is why you hire a good moving company. They're not all the same. 90% of them shouldn't be in business. But they are because most people don't read reviews. Most people don't do research. Most people don't listen to recommendations.
What makes yours stand out?
It's just the quality of the company. Actually caring more than people. It is a business, but when the owner cares about his reputation more than his money, things work. So, but don't worry, it is a business. We love to take care of everybody that wants, and there's so much business out there. Moving has been good to me for 20-something years. I couldn't find another job I'd make as much money, unless it's real estate. But then I'd have to work with my wife. I don't know if I could do that.
So have you ever done real estate?
No. I went for getting my real estate license, but I never took the test. But I love it. But mine, as I tell my wife, is more like a one-night stand. You guys have marriages to your clients. Maybe 3 years later, we can talk again. Yeah, they call me back. Every 3 years we can come to see each other. Or 5, 10 years. What? No.
Oh, is anything too small? I actually asked him, but I don't know what ended up happening. I know, but I'd asked him to move a piano for a client. You moved my piano when I needed.
Piano stereo cabinet. I don't know.
I don't know what happened with it either, but
The guy, he can't. He was a little flaky.
yeah, that's okay. Listen,
He was a nice guy.
I make my money off of
He
it.
got a really good price too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what ended up happening with that, but yeah, small moves I know you do.
We also do military corporate relocation.
Do you give a discount to them?
The military,
Yeah.
they get the move done for free.
What?
If they're active, the move's done for free.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so
if they're being bounced around by the military, if they choose to move, then they have to pay for it. But if they get it at a very big discount. We also work with Cardis. Everybody
okay,
knows
which is a relocation
Cardis
company.
is the biggest reload company in the world.
Oh, you can hook me up with them.
Yeah. Well, you know what the funny part is? They want points from you. They don't ask for anything from us. Nothing. Just good service.
Well, you know, it's our commission
get-
that's paying you, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. But that's what they want. So everybody else gets tacked on, but we don't, because they know how hard it is. But we work with corporate reloads, pure white glove service. We moved the CEO of Microsoft recently. You name it. I moved.
Oh, you don't have like you're not like a doctor where you can disclose
Anybody knows
anything.
PV Audio? You ever heard of PV Audio? Mm-mm. They make the amplifiers and speakers. I moved him recently from Malpan, $25 million home of the
Malvin.
Stewart.
So he was what's his name?
He reminded you of like the dog from Back to the Future.
Oh.
He's an inventor. He made computers. He made stereo equipment.
So what would be a reason for a realtor to give you a referral though? What would
I'm
be
the
that-
last person to see your client. I'll give you another reason why you could call them and see how things went. Of another reflection of your service, of your extension of your repertoire, from having a title company, a mortgage company, even to have a guy that can take down a door, handyman. You need everything in your book. You need everything because you're going to need that guy one day.
Right.
And when he's there for you, ultimately you hopefully be there for him.
So I have
or
a
her.
question though. So when COVID hit, right? All of a sudden, you couldn't find servers. We couldn't find anybody. So how are you doing with hiring people to move? The actual movers themselves, because I can imagine, like, listen, you're in business. You can't pay a ton of money. It's got to be decent money because it's a very taxing job.
The guys get paid very well.
Yeah?
$250 to $300 a day for the laborer. Maybe $400 to $500 a day sometimes for the driver. These guys make 6-figure salaries, some of them.
Really?
And above. Oh yeah, we have drivers who make $500,000 a year. Absolutely.
$500,000.
$500,000 a
A
year.
driver makes $500,000.
$500,000 a year. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that would on it. I have to tell you, like for me, that's
ever
a
find somebody who wants
misconception.
to-
That's something very interesting.
well-
so guys, if you need a job, like maybe college isn't for you. I have a master's degree and I'm a realtor.
These guys show up to work. We
Yeah.
tripled our income in the
Yeah?
COVID. Oh yeah, we
Does
tripled it.
anybody have any questions? If you have any questions and you just want to ask Brian a question about moving, what you should be looking for, you can call us at 1-888-994-4995. We're in Studio A, so if you have any questions, just give us a call. If you do, maybe you don't, but listen, I thought that it was good to hear like how you can not get screwed when you're moving. I mean, that's the last thing you want when you're moving is to get your furniture held hostage. You know, there's a lot of things that you want to look for.
Do your research. The federal government has a handbook for you.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
How can, so where do you go to get that? Like,
Go online. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Say it again?
The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Federal Motor Carry.
FMCSA. You go to their website. Every company has a SaferNet. It's called a site called SaferNet. Has a screenshot of their background, their violations, and also the rights and responsibilities when you're moving. It's a handbook we give to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
We give it electronically now, but it gives you all your rights and what you're entitled
Yeah,
to.
I definitely didn't get that from the last
Number
one.
one thing you need to think about too, also when hiring a mover, remember if you don't pack it, it's not insured. So
Wait, if you don't-
if you don't have us pack it, it's not insured. If you pack the box, you own the box.
Really? So if it breaks.
Well, how are you going to tell the insurance
So
company?
what does it cost
Insurance
to,
company say you could.
what does it cost
you
to
could
pack a
broke it.
box?
Anywhere from $11 up to $39, depending on the box.
$11 to $39
Yeah,
to pack it.
$39 for a dish box, which is all breakable stuff, and a mirror box is around $34.
So what's the average? So what's the average amount of boxes that somebody packs in, like, let's say a 3-bedroom house?
I'd probably say anywhere from 100 to 150 boxes.
So you're looking at 100 boxes at $39.
The rule of thumb is if the move is $2,500, the packing should be almost that. It should be half. For local moving, from out of state, 1-bedroom apartment, $1,500, 2-bedroom, maybe $25, and 3 or 4 bedrooms can be up to, I mean, with guys, $10,000, $15,000 in there.
Wow.
Other wives have a lot of wardrobes. I moved the number 1 NFL player, highest NFL defensive player in history, Khalil Mack, twice. And yeah, he had a $4.3 million home in Chicago that he moved out of. He had 100 wardrobe boxes.
Yeah, so the last 2 times I moved, I was too cheap. I put it all in my sports utility, and I have more clothes now than and I'm not ever doing that ever again. That was painful. I think I spent more money in gas than I would have just paid you guys just to move it. But
moving, and listen, it is expensive, but when you get to a certain age, and after you're done packing and unpacking all those boxes,
I hit the age.
You'll know.
I hit the age.
No, listen, 40 is the age because moving is very difficult. It's not fun. It hurts your body.
No, I was over 40 last time, but yeah. No.
Not again.
Not doing it again.
No.
In fact, I keep saying I got to declutter. I got to get out of this before I have to move. I don't want to pay you all that money.
No, get rid of it. Less is more.
That's what they say. Less is more.
I always tell people, less stuff you have.
So Brian, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what would be a good phone number or a way to reach out to you?
My cell phone is probably the best way to reach out to me.
Well, wait, let me just mention his cell phone is not a local number, but
it's 914-467-0890. 914-467-0890. I've had the same number for 20 years, not changing it. I've got customers that call me from 15 years ago that want to move. So it's stuck with me.
So how long have you been in this business?
25 years. A long time.
Wow.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
And how long have you been with this company?
7, almost 8 years.
Okay.
So I've been in Florida for about 12 years.
Okay.
So 2 companies, but this one I've been with the longest.
All right, great.
Happy where I am. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, want to thank you guys for listening to what we have to say about moving. Hopefully you found it interesting. If not, too bad. I'm just kidding. No, seriously. If you have any recommendations, any ideas, if you want to be a sponsor for our show, reach out to us. Give me a call directly. Love to talk to you about real estate. If you're looking for a job in real estate, I'd love to have you come work for me. I've been with RE/MAX for over 20 years. We are the #1 RE/MAX real estate company in the world. And you can call me at 954-650-0827. Again, this is Laura Sanders with Making Money with Laura, a name you can trust. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I look forward to talking again next week. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you next